Hello everybody! Welcome back to another video here on Penny Dreadful MTG. Today we have some more exciting historic action for you guys. And today we are playing Bant Collected Company. This is kind of your traditional Collected Company deck with some cool new stuff. By traditional I just mean, you know, playing good creatures with blink effects. The core of this deck, you know, it's reasonably well established, but in particular this is based on a deck that Aspiring Spike played in Modern, namely the 4 Collected Companies, 4 Soul Herders, and Ephemerate. I mean, I don't think he's the only one who's played that core, but I used it kind of as a jumping off point. The rest of the deck is completely different, but that's the basic structure. Actually, he also played Aether Channeler. So, real quick, for those who haven't seen the card Collected Company before, 4 mana, you look at the top 6 cards, and you get to put 2 creatures with mana value 3 or less onto the battlefield. So, good card advantage, mana advantage. You can get 6 mana worth of cards and 6 mana worth of creatures and 2 cards for just 1. Really powerful effect. Also, instant speed. The key card besides Collected Company is Soul Herder, which is a 1/1 that whenever something is exiled, you get a counter on it, and you get to blink something every turn. So super powerful just to be able to get ETB effects every single turn. This also can get pretty big and just kind of attack is like an 8/8. So that can be pretty relevant as well. So let's talk about card choices real quick. We have 6 1-drop Accelerants, 4 Avacyn's Pilgrim, 2 Delighted Halfling. This deck would love a Birds of Paradise, but there aren't any 5-color fixers in this format, except for Delighted Halfling for legendary creatures or Gilded Goose, but Gilded Goose kind of sucks in a deck like this. It's really awkward that you only get to use it once, and you really want to be able to tap it multiple times. Also 3 Ephemerate. Could play 4, but I found it to be a little bit too much. So what else do we have? Pretty key card, Aether Channeler. This is a 2/1 for 3. When it ETBs, you either get a bird, you bounce something, or you draw a card. Really flexible card. Mostly you're going to use those second 2 modes, but sometimes you make a bird. And the fact that this, against like a control deck, can just cantrip or make more, make a bird to add more pressure, but against an aggro deck can really delay the game by bouncing their stuff. Really, really powerful and flexible card. Another really, really important new card for this deck that really has kind of set it off and made it legitimately great is Delny. So creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. That's less relevant. Comes up sometimes to let your creatures attack. But really, it's the second part of the card. All of your creatures, their abilities, creatures with power 2 or less, their abilities trigger twice. So that is really sick in a deck where every single creature has power 2 or less, and can let you do some pretty nutty things. We play 2 Lagrella, the Magpie, a card you may not have seen before from Streets of New Capenna. When it ETBs, you exile, so it's kind of a Banisher Priest effect, but you exile something of theirs, and you can also exile something of yours. You actually don't even have to exile something of theirs. And when something of yours, or when the Lagrella dies, they both come back, but your thing comes back with 2+1/+1 counters. Now, you obviously don't always exile something of yours, but against control decks, it's really nice to kind of store one of your creatures away so that if they Wrath, you get it back, you get that ETB trigger from that creature, and now it's a big threat that can keep beating them down without you having to spend any more mana. So this is actually a really important card against blue-white control, which is one of the most popular decks in the format. Also does some really cool things with Soul Herder. You can exile something of yours and something of theirs, and then every turn blink the Lagrella, re-exile their thing, and then you still get your ability. So if you exile the Aether Channeler with the Lagrella, you still get the Aether Channel ability every turn by blinking the Lagrella. But now it's bigger. You can switch what you have under the Lagrella. You can just make all of your creatures get 2+1/+1 counters slowly. So a lot of cool stuff you can do. Plus, it adds 2 extra triggers to the Soul Herder because this exiles 2 things. One card that is a brand new card. It's a digital only card. Imara, Voice of the Conclave. I'm only playing 1 right now. I did have 2. I really like it. It's hard to find room in this deck for cards. It's a pretty tight list right now. It's a 2/3 for 3. And when it ETBs, you draft a card from its spellbook, a digital-only effect, which I'm sure is making a lot of paper players cringe, but I actually really like these digital-only cards. I think they have a lot of cool design space in them. So drafting from a spellbook is, Amara has 9 cards in its spellbook. All of them have Convoke. And when you draft from a spellbook, you get a random set of 3 from the spellbook, and you get to pick 1 and put it into your hand. Which gives you access to some cards that you couldn't really play in a deck like this, like Ancient Imperiosaur. Conclave Tribunal in particular is really nice, getting access to this removal spell. And Knight Errant of Eos, another really good card in a deck like this, but that doesn't really conform to your Collected Company needs. So really powerful. You know, March, you never cast Nissa's Expedition, you literally don't have any basics. Overwhelm sometimes lets you kill faster. Triplicate Spirits can give you some blockers. And Venerated Loxodon can make your guys bigger. So mostly it's Tribunal and Knight Errant, but there's quite a few that are relevant from this. So I really like this card. You get 2 triggers with Delny, get to draft 2 things. A nice one. We play 2 Spell Queller. This is a nod to blue-white control. This is a card that was very popular in decks like this in Standard, in the Bant Collected Company decks in Standard. It's a little awkward in this deck. It doesn't really have a ETB effect that really works with Soul Herder. It also makes timing of Collected Company a little weird because Soul Herder really wants you to cast Collected Company on your main phase so that you can get the blink effect at the end of turn. This one wants you to cast Collected Company at instant speed in response to one of their spells. So it's awkward, but against blue-white control, being able to exile one of their Wraths and then just continue beating down is pretty important. They play a lot of Wraths, and we're not great against them. This also gives you some more game against combo decks, which we're also not great against without this. Okay, so next up, the next really, really important card for the deck is Ropeline Attendant. This is another digital-only card, which I am fully obsessed with. It's a 2/2, and when it ETBs, all the creature cards in your hand perpetually gain, when they enter the battlefield, you get a 1/1 token. So whether or not this stays in play, they will always have that effect, which means that if you Ropeline Attendant and you have an Aether Channel in your hand, when you cast the Aether Channeler, you get a 1/1. But also if you then blink the Aether Channeler with Soul Herder, you get the 1/1 then too. They gain the effect forever. The other thing is this effect can stack. So if you blink this a bunch of times with your Ephemerates, with your Soul Herders, now all your creatures make multiple tokens when they come into play. And then you can blink those and get more multiple tokens. And it's also particularly absurd with Delny. If you have a Delny in play, you cast the Ropeline Attendant. Ropeline's ability triggers twice. So all your creatures gain, now they have this ability twice. So you would get 2 1/1s. And so like if you have your Ropeline in play, or so you have your Delny in play, you cast your Ropeline, then you cast your Aether Channeler. It has 2 instances, and each of those double because of Delny, so you get 4 1/1. So it can really create a kind of crazy army really fast. This interaction and in general, this card is a pretty core component of what this deck is trying to do. Last, we have 3 Wall of Blossoms. Just a card that helps smooth out your draws, lets you block a little bit, and good thing to blink to just keep the cards flowing. And 3 Prosperous Innkeeper. This is actually I found to be really great in this deck. There's a lot of aggressive decks. Blue-Red Prowess is it's probably the most popular deck in the format. Being able to gain a lot of life against them is really valuable. Ropeline Attendant, like I said, makes a lot of tokens, and so you can gain a lot of life with Prosperous Innkeeper. It also, each instance of gaining life doubles up with Delny, another important interaction. You wouldn't play this card just as like a Soul Warden, but you really need that first effect, being able to get a treasure, really valuable. Lets you ramp out your Collected Company on turn 3, and being able to blink your Innkeeper means that you can kind of use it as a mana engine with your Soul Herders. You get double treasures with Delny, so you can do some kind of cool things where you like Prosperous Innkeeper, get 2 treasures, Ephemerate Innkeeper, and get 2 more, and like use that to like cast a bunch of spells in a turn. So another powerful spell in this deck. Mana base is pretty straightforward. Blue, green, and white lands. I would not say it's perfect. I kind of threw it together I think there's still tweaking that could be done, but it's worked totally fine for me so far. Probably will continue to mess with that. So that's the deck. At the end of this video, I'm going to do a deeper dive into all the different cards that I've tried and the reasons I've gone for what I have, and maybe why some other things didn't work out. For those who are interested in actually playing this deck or just want to learn more, but for those who just want to get into the games, that is what we are going to do now. So see you back for round one. All right, getting ready for our first round here against Phoenix Rex. Let's see. And I think we have a keep. We don't have any blue mana. Not ideal. I think I might need to tweak the mana base. I've been having a little bit, I feel like this has been happening a decent amount. But we get to go turn 2 Delny, and hopefully we can draw a blue source and follow up with one of these. Looks like they're going to kill our Pilgrim. All right, Spikefield Hazard means probably... Yeah, Mara's a decent draw. Blue-red Prowess or Phoenix. Okay, or maybe mono-red Prowess. All right. I get in with a Monastery Swift Spear. Let's see. Do I want to play the Delny or just play a Mara? Let's just... I mean, I like getting the double triggers, but let's just get... we're not going to be able to use double triggers right now. And what do we want to get with it? I guess the Knight Errant is probably the best choice here. All right, they Lightning Strike that. This is where a Collected Company is really big, because right now we're going to just struggle to land any one of these 3 drops and have them stick around, because they're just going to keep burning them. We also don't have any blue mana, so that's not great. Alright, are they out of burn spells? Probably not. They look like they're mono-red Prowess, so that's pretty much their deck is Prowess creatures and burn spells. Alright, they have Inti. And, well, ooh, interesting. Okay. Well, we could just run out this Knight Errant. Yeah, I don't hate it. It's a 4/4. This is not the most impressive Knight Errant, but, and we probably, hey, we got a Avacyn Spogrim for our trouble. This deck would love a Birds of Paradise or Noble Hierarch, but the only 5-color fixer in the format, 1-drop 5-color fixer, is Gilded Goose, and that card is just terrible. I mean, not being able to tap it multiple times without creating new foods is just really rough. All right, so they're going to discard... I think we have to block here. They discarded an Electrostatic Infantry, which is interesting. Yeah, we'll block the Soul Scar Mage. Let's see what happens. Lightning Strike. Oh, so they trade. Do they have another one? Oh, they don't trade because this makes their spells have Wither. Fair enough. All right, Kenra Spell Seeker. Okay, well, that's what we needed to draw. All right, Ropeline Attendant and Soul Herder. Pretty nice. No attacks. Bounce the Ropeline. I guess we'll bounce or blink the Delny too. We get 2 triggers because of the Delny. So we basically just need to figure out what we can do to survive here. We're definitely blocking with the Ropeline. We may even be blocking with the Soul Herder. These cards are going to, because they've doubled up the triggers, these are all going to make 4 1/1s. So we just need to survive this turn, and then we can pretty quickly take over. All right, let's see. Where are they going to discard? Ooh, they discarded a Temur Battle Rage. That's kind of surprising. All right, there. Okay, so we're going to block here, we're going to block here, we're going to block here. And we're going to cross our fingers. Is that what we want to do? What if we didn't block? We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If their last card is a lightning strike, then that puts us to 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. Maybe I'll block here. Let's see what happens here. I mean, obviously, any spell is really good here, but we have a backup Delny. We can go Delny plus Avacyn's Pilgrim or Delny plus Ephemerate. Maybe we'll survive with one of these left. Temur Battle Rage. Okay. So it gives us double strike. All right. So we go to 5. Not bad. Oh, can they transfer on this? They cannot. Oh, they can? Oh, what did I miss? All right. So now this is double prowess. Okay. Ooh, Temple Garden's an interesting draw. Let's play the Delny. Because now we got to decide, is it worth taking 8 to keep up Ephemerate? We're going to make a ton of creatures here, though. I think without any way to gain life, I think we can't really keep up Ephemerate. Or we can't really go to 3 when we know they're playing a bunch of lightning strikes. Yeah, I mean, that kind of punishes us, but they can't really attack here, so. I mean, this Delny not being in play keeps us from going super buck wild, but as soon as we draw any blue source, we're in good shape, although the blue source does need to be untapped. If Delighted Halfling does not do it. Let's play the Halfling. Yeah, this is the other 5-color fixer, but it doesn't tap for these guys. And pass. Can we afford to start attacking? That's interesting. So this can become 6 power. And this doesn't have trample. So what if we attacked with 10 of these, kept back 6? Maybe more. Yeah, let's keep back 6. Let's start with attacking 10. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know all the cards that are in their deck, and I don't want to get randomly blown out, but like they have a lot of burn spells, and so we do kind of want to kill them quickly. They take 8 here, and now we're presenting lethal next turn, though. So I think this is a pretty safe one where we have lethal either way. We can make 4 1/1s with Ephemerate at instant speed. Bone Crusher Giant on Delighted Halfling. Sure, that's fine. They cast the Bone Crusher. Yep. They go to attacks. Are they going to get in? No, they're not. So we have lethal, 14. Yeah, we have a million creatures. We have way more than lethal. Just for good measure, let's do this again. But yeah, this I think was a good starting point to show the power of getting Delny and Ropeline Attendant out together. Those cards just go completely crazy. You get to make so many creatures that you can do ridiculous things and completely turn a game around that looked kind of unwinnable. So be back for the next round. All right, round 2 against Greek Massive. Yep, this looks like a keep to me. Let's play a Pilgrim on turn 1. Turn 2, we can go Ropeline Attendant and Halfling, or Ropeline Attendant or Prosperous Innkeeper and Ropeline Attendant, although that happens in the wrong order. All right, Plains. This is probably Soul Sisters. Yep. All right. So they play a Lunarch Veteran. Yeah, let's play. That's actually kind of close. Having the Innkeeper in play when we Collected Company is pretty nice, because this can be kind of a race. But we do also want to get these creatures down. I think I'm going to, or we want to get the Ropeline Attendant triggers going. I think I'm going to Ropeline and Delighted Halfling. And then next turn, we have 3, 4, 5. We actually can Prosperous Innkeeper into Collected Company. So that works pretty nicely too. Yeah, I should have done that math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can use the token, the treasure token, to immediately cast the Collected Company. So we're in good shape. All right, let's cast this. I don't feel the need to do this at instant speed, I don't think. The need for instant speed. Is there a reason to? No, I think this is fine. And doing it on your main phase allows for Soul Herder to trigger this turn. Ooh, we only drew a Wall of Blossoms. That is far from ideal. But, you know, we have another Wall of Blossoms in hand. This deck's hit rate is pretty high on Collected Company. I've done the math, but, you know, you can always get unlucky. Divine Arrow. Ooh, okay. This may not be a super streamlined Soul Sisters deck. This is not a playable card in Historic, if anyone's wondering. All right, yeah, this is a common one in the less serious decks. If you gain life, you gain 1 extra life. Okay, so let's start with Ropeline Attendant. And then let's Lagrella. Okay, so definitely getting rid of Angel of Vitality. And I think we're probably... We could store our own Ropeline. We could store our own Wall of Blossoms. Yeah, I kind of like storing our own Wall of Blossoms. It'd be nice to be able to store this one that has the Ropeline trigger on it, but that's fine. We'll attack for 2. I guess there was some thought to exiling the Lunarch Veteran instead, but, you know, I think that the bigger threat makes more sense. And this only works if they can gain life, and this is currently their only way to gain life, but their deck has tons of ways to gain life, so I think this is probably the better option. We don't have a flying blocker, so, you know, I could kind of get in a bit. All right, Cleric class. If they would gain life, they gain an extra life. I think these cards are really terrible. This type of effect is really bad in this deck. People really like playing them. I think it's like newer players, but this deck doesn't really care about gaining extra life. It just wants to gain 1 life for every creature. It doesn't care about gaining 2 life for every creature. All right, let's start off with Wall of Blossoms before I Aether Channeler. I'm actually inclined right here to just draw a card with it. Oh, okay. Well, scratch that. All right, attack with all of these. If they have Divine Arrow, I guess let's keep back the Lagrella for 1 turn, just because we're going to be able to do some cool stuff blinking the Lagrella this turn. All right, Soul Herder it up. All right, we blink the Lagrella. I think I mentioned this in the deck tech. Okay, so now we retake their Angel, and now we put the Wall of Blossoms, the one with the trigger, underneath it. So, like every turn, we can still get our triggers from the Wall of Blossoms, but and while still keeping their creature killed, but we get to keep choosing a different card that we want to put under the Lagrella. Plus, we get extra Soul Herder triggers. We get like 3 Soul Herder triggers every turn, for 1 for blinking and 2 for each of these exiling. All right, battle, gird for battle. You know, all right, we're not playing against a particularly real deck. Fair enough. I didn't even do that right, but I think we're in fine shape. Let's just attack for 1 million and end this suffering. Ah, put them to 1. Okay, well, all right. Sure. Okay, yeah, all right. They've seen enough. Thank you very much. Cool. All right, be back for next round. Round 3 against Nikulmi. Okay. Yeah, I think I need to mess with the mana base. I think this happens too often that I'm missing blue mana. This is definitely a keep still. Not that I would play Soul Herder on turn 2 here. That's not really that good. I'm going to play Wall Blossoms and Avacyn's Pilgrim. Well, all right, I'm definitely playing Wall of Blossoms. I could Coco. Let's see what I draw. Nah, I think I'm just going to Avacyn's Pilgrim here. Let's get our mana going. Then we have Collected Company plus Ephemerate next turn, which is really nice. Are they going to burn our Pilgrim? Sure. Okay. Well, we no longer have that, but we're also in really good shape against this. Soul Scourge Mage. Oh, nice. Seachrome Coast. All right, we're going to Coco main phase. Soul Herder and Aether Channeler seems like the thing. Let's bounce the Soul Scar Mage. Then we'll exile the Aether Channeler, draw a card, and we're very much off in business. And I think that, like, at this point, this is where, like, this blue-red deck just kind of can't come back most of the time. This game is mostly over already. All right, they do kill the Soul Herder, which is, you know, thing number 1 that they had to do. But now we're going to play it again, play another one. And play a tap Temple Garden. And this time we get to have Ephemerate up to protect it. All right, I think I'm bouncing again. I might have, you know, it's possible I just want to draw, but I think bouncing is good. Okay. So then next turn we get to get Delny out, and things get pretty wild. All right, they get a Balmor and a Soulscar Mage. And do they have another burn spell? They do. We Ephemerate the Soul Herder. All right, now we'll Ephemerate the Aether Channeler. They gave us a nice. Thanks. Okay. Delny, Prosperous Innkeeper. Deserted Beach. I guess we attack for 2. Now we get 2 triggers from Soul Herder. So first we'll Aether Channeler, Wall of Blossoms. Each of those gets to trigger twice, so we're drawing 3 cards here, plus each trigger gains us 2 life because the Innkeeper plus the Delny. Yeah, and they're scooping it up. All right, this was kind of what this deck can do, where it can just really turn a corner and take a game over. Delny and Soul Herder in particular, those cards in combination can just do such ridiculous things that you can really go over the top of most decks. So, good showing. 3-0 will be Okay. Game 4. What do we have? Okay. Yeah, this hand is fine. Little light on action. We're playing against probably another blue-red Prowess deck. Man, they've always been like the most popular deck, slightly more than blue-white control, but they have been absolutely everywhere lately. Okay, they're mulliganing Soul Scar Mage. Play the Pilgrim. Next turn, we actually can't go Rope Blind Attendant into Delighted Halfling. No blocks. We could play the Soul Herder. Oh, that's not a terrible one to do here. Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, I guess I could Soul Herder. Yeah, I mean, they didn't kill this Pilgrim immediately, but I think I'm still gonna... I think I like keeping up Spell Queller here a little bit more than trying to run out the Soul Herder. Yeah, let's... I mean, if they have like another... If they have like land removal spell, this is going to be really bad. It basically does nothing. But, yeah, it looks like they don't have another land, so that's actually... It's very good here. No blocks, take 3. And then... Oh, they do have a land, but it's the wrong kind. All right. It's a tap land. Let's see. So what are we doing here? We could... If we didn't collect a company, we could, like, Rope Line Attendant, Ephemerate, Delighted Halfling. Doesn't seem that good. We could Ephemerate and Soul... We could, like, play Soul Herder with Ephemerate up. I think we just Coco here. All right. Definitely taking a Soul Herder. And I think we'd just take the Aether Channeler. They're short on mana. Well, Aether Channeler bouncing both of their things is pretty backbreaking here. Get in, even be able to get in for 2. Bounce this. And now, like, the good thing about this deck is that it puts our opponent in, like, an awkward position where if they have a removal spell, what do they kill here, right? Like, they can kill the Spell Queller to get their Expressive Iteration back, but then we still have Soul Herder, Aether Channeler. They kill the Aether Channeler, so we don't have anything to blink, but then we're still kind of have all this, and they probably can assume that we have something else in our deck somewhere that is worth blinking. So it's not like, or they kill the Soul Herder, but then we still have the Spell Queller. You know, it puts them in a place where it's not really clear what they want to get rid of. All right, so they drew Expressive Iteration, which is obviously one of their better draws, but not that good of a draw here. So right now, we're mostly just in the mode of trying to make sure that we don't get randomly burned or comboed out. So like if they go Pathway into Reckless Charge, which is something they play, an important part of their deck, then I don't think we chump. We would take 6. I think that's fine with what we have in our hand still. So next turn, we're going to play Rope Line Attendant. I think we'll play the Delighted Halfling and then keep up Ephemerate. That's, I believe, what our plan should be. I mean, we could Rope Line Attendant and then Ephemerate Rope Line Attendant and then play Halfling to get 2 1/1s, but I don't think that's necessary. Like, this is still going to make some nice triggers. All right. Are they tanking or are they pouting? They may be pouting. Man, it is so common for opponents to just do the pouty thing where they the game where like where you're about to win and then they just let their timer run out. It's crazy how many people have that kind of video game anger issues. All right. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I like a Delny here. That feels like a winner. Okay, Get in with these two. Yeah, all right. They are full on pouting. Ugh, God, so fucking annoying. All right, I'm going to pause while they do their pausey thing and be back in a second. Okay, timer ran out. Still go to damage. All right, well, guess I'll blink the Delmy. Get extra triggers for the Soul Herder. Blink the Aether Channeler. I mean, we can do our thing here while they sulk. Let's just make a bird. All right, pass the turn. I think they're probably not going to take any more game actions, so I may just pause and wait till the game is over. Okay, they did not take any more game actions, and they died. No mercy. Good name. It's a bad look. Why do people do this? I mean, are they like 10 years old, or are they just 10 years old? All right, I'll be back in a second for the next one. Okay. Arid Vex. Hopefully you're less of a shithead than No Mercy. Okay, yeah, this hand seems good. Oh my god, another Blue-Eyed Prowess deck. Man, it is everywhere right now. They just, they nerfed Geological Appraiser combo, and they banned, or they basically changed a card that made it so this other combo deck with like ley lines and Geist of the St. Traps. It's hard to explain. So that's no longer a deck. So they, nice Balmore. Okay. So this has been like kind of the default that people have been playing instead. All right. So I have a lot of options here. I can keep up Spell Queller. I could Rope Line Attendant. I could play the Prosperous Innkeeper because it guarantees me to be able to collect a company next turn. I don't hate that. Or I can Aether Channeler. I kind of just want to Aether Channeler. Like that's a good way to just, it's kind of Time Walk here. Time Walk-ish. They get a land drop, obviously, but it makes things tricky for them, and just lets, like, if we're just delaying things, we're so favored in the long game that a delay here is pretty good. All right, I replay Balmore. Do they have a removal spell? They have a Reckless Charge. That I would not say that's a great play. All right, the Wizard's Lightning or Avacyn's Pilgrim. Yeah, that's too bad, but also it's fine. Okay. We have kind of similar choices here. We can Soul Herder, bounce the Aether Channeler, bounce the Balmore. They probably end up killing the Soul Herder, but we can just play a Rope Line Attendant. I don't know, that feels a little slow here. Or we can play the Prosperous Innkeeper to make sure we can Coco next turn. I think I'm going to do the thing. I think I'm going to Soul Herder, bounce the Aether, or blink the Aether Channeler, bounce the Balmore again. Just keep things slowing down. Hit our land drop. We still have time. And yeah, the Soul Herder probably dies here, but they have so much removal. I mean, maybe they're like, well, they keep blinking this Aether Channeler. Maybe I should kill the Aether Channeler. But I think that they seem like they know what they're doing. They'll probably kill the Soul Herder. Oh, no, they killed the Aether Channeler. Maybe they have another one for the... All right, Soul Herder lives. Okay. So I could play Innkeeper here. So if I play Innkeeper, I get a treasure, and then I could play Rope Line, or I could blink the Innkeeper and then play Spell Queller next turn. Maybe, honestly, maybe Innkeeper into Rope Line is not bad here. Start gaining some life. put the make it so that these keep triggering, no attacks, and then bounce the Innkeeper. We still have 4 mana next turn now with it because we get to bounce and get the treasure. And I think I'm fine taking 1 turn off of Aether Channeling them over and over. And then next turn we get to collect a company. So now the Soul Herder's going to die. I think they've learned their lesson. All right, but they have a Flame of Anor, which is like powerful but slow. They have a tap land too. All right, so they get in for 2. Cool. All right, we drew our 4th land. Let's see. Attack for 3. Now, do we Coco here? Do we hold up Spell Queller and wait? I think we just Coco. Delny, Soul Herder. Yeah. I guess we could have maybe taken Lagrella, but... Take the Rope Line. Take the Innkeeper. Oh, the Innkeeper. Oh, yeah, we get to still keep up Spell Queller now because we get 2 treasures. Oh, that's so sick. And the Spell Queller is going to make a fucking bajillion 1/1s when it comes into play. Yeah, this is nice. I think I probably... Ooh, they're playing an untapped land here. They're shocking in Steam Vents. Wow, what a combination of spells do they have in their hand. All right, Flame of Anor on that. I think that is definitely worth a Spell Quellering. So they can kill the Spell Queller, but you know we made a bajillion tokens. So our Soul Herder is probably going to die, but now that we have the Delny in play, we have Aether Channeler about to make 6 1/1s and bounce 2 thing or bounce something and draw a card. You know, this is. Oh yeah, we're also going to gain 1,000,000 life. Oh yeah, they definitely have another removal spell, and they're trying to decide. Okay, do I kill an Innkeeper? Do I kill the Delny? Because the Innkeeper gains us 2 life for every 1 token, so this is 12 life that we're going to gain. Yeah, going way over the top. And these triggers take forever. I don't know why they're not just letting them all resolve. Have they learned their lesson about the Delny and they're going to kill? Well, you kill the Delny, we still have the Soul Herder in play. There's just not a good answer here. They're just kind of dead. Like at this point, the Spell Queller is like the least interesting thing to kill. I mean, except for the fact that like, well, it lets you kill something else. But all right, we're at 37. I don't really know how they get out of this. If they have 2 more removal spells, which is possible, they kill the Spell Queller, kill the Soul Herder, draw another removal spell, kill the Delny. You know, it gets more interesting. Oh, I paused to cough, and they scooped. Sweet. All right, on for the next one. Okay, 5-0, playing against Brugna. Hopefully something that's not Blue-Red Prowess, although it is seemingly a pretty good matchup. It may be another fucking Blue-Red Prowess deck. Jesus. Wow, this format got really consolidated. All right, I think this is definitely a keep. Turn 2 Innkeeper. Turn 3, you know, we have all the stuff here. Once again, no blue land. We have Innkeeper to fix, but yeah, definitely need some more blue sources. All right. Innkeeper. I actually think that, so we have the treasure and we have this ephemerate because of the fact that we can use the treasure to ephemerate this. Because this life gain is so valuable in this matchup, I think we probably do, well, it's a moot point, but I was going to say that it would be worth casting the ephemerate to save the Innkeeper. All right, there's a blue land. I think I can take the time to Delny here. So I could also, all right, I could play Breeding Pool, play Delny, Ephemerate using the token, then I have 2 mana. No, that's not enough to do anything. All right. I think I have the time to try to really go over the top. I gain 2 life here. I can gain 2 more life at instant speed if I need to, for whatever reason, by ephemerating the Delny. And I can save the Delny with the Ephemerate. All right. I cast Shove aside. Going to Ephemerate the Delny. Hopefully they don't have another instant speed way to killing it. That would kind of get me here. They do. All right. So that's awkward. But we still have stuff. All right, consider. Next turn I get to Aether Channeler bounce the Balmor. Ooh, they're getting in for 11 here. That's a lot of damage. Yep. Bounce this. Play, I guess, white. I'm not going to attack. Just in case I have to chump. Although if I'm in chump mode with the Innkeeper, it's not great for me. All right, so they recast the Balmor. Ooh, and they have a Symmetry Mage. Okay, this is going to get dicey. Yeah, it's too bad I can't keep up Spell Queller, but bounce the Balmor. I'm up to 10. What would be a really good draw here? Another Ephemerate would be great. Delny would be okay. You know, Delny would be really good. Yeah, actually, Delny would be insane. What am I talking about? Balmor. And a removal spell? Palantir. Whoa, what the fuck? Since when are they playing this card? That's so weird. I have never seen this deck play this card. Okay. I think I probably just, yeah, do that. Okay. Let's play a rope line. Gain a life. No attacks. Bounce Aether Channeler. Now, what are we Aether Channelering? Or are we drawing? No, I think we're still on bounce something. We could bounce the Palantir. Could bounce... Yeah, these both trigger on instant or sorceries. This one triggers on non-creature, but yeah, this is a really weird choice for this deck. That's very surprising. I think I probably end up spell quellering the Balmor. Gains me 2 life. Gives me a flying blocker. Not irrelevant. All right, so I'm up to 14. Oh, they have another Balmor. Fair enough. Let's see what they do here. I think I probably list. I mean, the thing is, they have like very little in terms of high CMC cards. That's why it's particularly interesting. All right. No attacks. All right. Now, what are we? We're bouncing the Aether Channeler. What are we doing with it? Are we bouncing the Balmor again? We're bouncing the Palantir. Are we just drawing now? I actually think I'm kind of on draw. We really want to draw some action here. I think we're in pretty good shape to not die right now. This next turn, we're definitely going to have to let them draw a card, which is a little awkward. But, all right, they're just putting the Gigantha in hand. Are they even attacking? All right, they're not even attacking. Okay. They get to draw. All right, that's a decent draw. Gain life, draw a card. I can't attack with a Soul Herder. I don't want to play Rope Line right now. All right. We're bouncing Aether Channeler. Or Blinking Aether Channeler. Ooh, do they have a removal spell now? Okay. Now we got to get rid of this Palantir now. It resets it. Makes them respend their mana. Like this isn't like a digital card that maintains that 3. This is resets back at 1. So hopefully we can draw something. I mean, we're still at a reasonable chance of just dying here. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Palantir, okay. All right, we're gonna lose life. We're not gonna want them to draw any more cards. Ooh, I get to put the Reckless Charge into battlefield. All right. So definitely casting Rope Line here. And then Innkeeper. Okay, so we gained a bunch of life. Now we could bounce the Dreadhorde Arcanist, but they can just play it and flashback Reckless Charge. All right, I'm going to bounce this. I think they have so much mana. I think I'm just going to draw again. Oh, man, I really need to hit some action. Would love a Collected Company. That would be a card that'd be quite good here. Soul Herder's a 6/6. It's very large. Shove aside on what? What are they shoving? I couldn't tell. Kill the Aether Channeler. Yep, makes sense. We can't keep bouncing it. They can kill Spellqueller. Killing Spellqueller doesn't actually do that much. All right, they Reckless Charge the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Oof, and this is a lot of damage. Right now they can do 21 damage, but you know we have blockers. But they do all have trample. Soul Herder's not really big enough to tangle, unfortunately. Not like we can't eat anything. Spellqueller also, unfortunately, is too small to take anything down. Shove aside on Soul Herder. Okay, maybe they have another removal spell. Yeah, this is getting a little out of hand. Okay. What are our blocks going to be? Spell Queller goes here. All right, so as currently situated, this eats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. So we take 1 from that. This is eats 3. That's 6, 7 damage plus 6, 13 plus 6 is 19. Ugh, I don't know if we have the luxury of not blocking with this Wall of Blossoms, unfortunately. We kind of need it to keep soul hurting, but I think we have to block with it. Yeah, so that's not great. This puts us in a pretty rough spot. All right, we go to 5. They can, they're not going to recast their Belmore. All right, we get to at least Soul Herder this Prosperous Innkeeper. They get to have it untap. That's nice. I think I have to let them draw. That's pretty rough. Well, that's not. All right, do they have a removal spell? Spell Pierce. Yeah. Spell Pierce resolves. Oh, do they have 2 Spell Pierces? Oh, no. Okay. Ooh, those are not good hits. Okay. Well, at least we gain a bunch of life. No attacks. All right. Blink the Avacyn's Pilgrim. Blink the Prosperous Innkeeper. All right, Innkeeper comes in. We get a treasure and we gain a life. Or we gain a good amount of life. Because we get the 1/1. Not really enough life, but we go to 14. Still very precarious. I mean, Collected Company was what we needed. That particular hit off of Collected Company was not what we needed. All right, Dreadhorde Arcanist. They have another Reckless Charge? They do have another Reckless Charge. All right, I think we're dead. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Oh, because they can flash it back and then, yeah. All right, GG's. Going on to the next one. All right, 5-1 against Harlem. Let's get some variety in our matchup, please. All right, well, they at least don't have the same companion. All right, what's this hand? Yeah, that's a keepable hand. Pilgrim on turn 1. Turn 2, I'm definitely going to go for the rope line over the Aether Chandler, I think. And might as well get in for 1. Rope line with Amara is obviously really nice. Just more creatures to sacrifice. Ooh, Collected Company. Yeah, I think that's better than what we have going on here. Let's go ahead and do that. Ugh, Delighted Halfling and Spell Queller. Okay, well, it's not ideal. Liliana, sure. Are they going to make a sack? I don't really have a great play here, actually. Yeah, so we get to kill the Lily. Let's play this first. Let's just... Ooh, are we drawing a card or are we playing and making a 1/1 bird? It's actually kind of close with Amara. No, I think we're making a... Oh, we're about to get a 1/1 token. Let's draw. I think that's fine. Okay. Attack Lily. Kill Lily. Play Imara. Hopefully they don't have any Wraths. This is the mono black control deck. I don't think they usually play much in terms of Wraths. All right, let's take Knight Errant of Eos. Let's play a tap Sea Crown Coast and pass the turn. Shieldred. All right, Shieldred we can deal with. Ooh, we can definitely deal with it with that. All right. All right, let's just convoke with everything. Go get 2 things. Ooh, all right. I think we probably want Delny and Prosperous Innkeeper, or is it Delny and Lagrella? Well, we can't play everything this turn, but we can go Innkeeper into Soul Herder. Attack for 2. Blink the Aether Channeler. Get another 1/1, gain another life, and bounce the Shieldred. All right, and we're just like presenting like a shit ton of damage. Yeah, all right, and they scooped. That was pretty nice. I really like Imara. I would love to be able to play some more of them because having access to, to these Knight Errants is really nice. But there's only so much space, and I'm not quite sure what to cut for it. So I'll talk about that later at the end of the video. But yeah, on for the next round, trying to get the trophy. All right. Against Sivska. Yeah, I think this is a keep. Man, I hate Spellcaller in this deck. I think it's terrible in this deck. I feel like we need it against blue-white control. We haven't actually played against blue-white control this. Oh, actually, we're definitely playing against blue-white control here. Yorion, I'm pretty sure is. There's one other Yorion deck, but no. Or this is like X control, some amount of control. Maybe I should have played. This is green. No, I think this makes sense. All right, so they're probably playing like Esper control. Next turn, we can play Innkeeper and keep up Spellqueller. So if they're Esper, they may have less in terms of Wraths. Fewer. The biggest Wrath that's a problem for us is this card called... oh, they have a cut down. Damn. Divine Purge, is that what it's called? It exiles all artifacts and creatures with CMC 3 or less. And then you can play them, but they cost 2 more, and they enter the battlefield tapped. You can play them for the rest of the game, but it just, like, you don't have time to, like, play 3 mana Avacyn's Pilgrims before they just, like, completely take over. Okay, so, I think I'm going to go Innkeeper. I mean, maybe I should have played Wall first, because maybe probably the knowledge is more important than the 1 life in a matchup like this. I'm not going to run out the Pilgrim. Yeah, I don't think they can Wrath this turn. They haven't actually showed us that they are white at all. They could be like blue-black Yorion. That's a little late. What do I want to do here? I might just pass with Spellqueller up. I don't really want to use up this treasure for no reason. Just to Aether Channeler and draw a card. I don't know. Oh, they do have white manas. All right, Thassa Deep Dwelling. Oh, that's a pretty good Spellqueller target. They were going to start blinking the Fibblethip. All right, so I'm not sure what they are. They could be like an Eldritch Evolution. There's like an Eldritch Evolution Yorion deck, which is kind of cool. All right, if they're playing Thassa, I'm a lot less worried about Wraths. I'm going to draw here. If I ephemerate, Okay. Then I'll just attack with a Spell Queller. And if they do Wrath, I can Spell Queller. I can actually ephemerate the Spell Queller. They get their Thassa, but I get to get rid of the Wrath. And I think that's a fair trade. Fibblethip is stopping our beatdowns. I actually did have this in one draft of this deck, but the fact that it becomes a target spell, it shuffles in, is very awkward with Ephemerate. I think you could play like Elvish Visionary or the white card, the white 1/1 that draws a card that's an enchantment. Hostage Taker. Okay. Oh, I see. How I should have ephemerated. That's fine. Oh, I get to do this. I get to Aether Channeler, Ephemerate. Oh yeah, this is cool. Bounce the Hostage Taker. Spell Queller comes back, and then I get to exile the Thassa again. That's a cool play. Nice. All right. Let's bounce the Aether Channeler again. What are we? All right, we're not bouncing Fibblethip. We're just going to draw. I need to draw anything but lands. Ugh, Ropeline Attendant not at its best right here. All right, let's get in. Pass the turn. I should have played the Deserted Beach. What am I doing? There's no reason to hold the land in hand. So yeah, they can Hostage Taker again, get Thassa. They can blink the Hostage Taker. That doesn't do much. So they probably just like blink the Fibblethip. Okay. And now they have a Spell Queller that they can cast. Important to remember, which is awkward. All right, so they blinking. They're gonna. I have to imagine they'll blink. Oh, they're gonna blink the Hostage Taker. Interesting. I would not have done that. Oh, they're gonna kill an Avacyn's Program because they can cast this with that. Now they would have had a Spell Queller up. I don't like that play for them. Ropeline Attendant. Play another Pilgrim. Attack for another 2. Now I kind of do want to bluff something. Because we're not in great shape here. I wonder if they did this so they can get their own Pilgrim because they're short on white mana? What does this do? It taps creatures? Yeah, 4 mana to tap a creature. Solemn Simulacrum, sure. I mean, being able to blink the Hostage Taker and then cast our things every turn is pretty cool. We need to draw like a Soul Herder or a... got the Ropeline Attendant. Or a Soul Herder. Okay. So, Soul Herder here. What are we doing with it? We could bounce the Hostage Taker, get back our Ropeline. Then they get to Hostage Taker the Soul Herder. Either way, they get to Hostage Taker our Soul Herder. Attack for 2 more. Like, basically, my thought is, do I bounce the hostage taker or do I just draw? I think I still want to bounce. I'm going to play, well, I guess I played a land already. Oh, no, I went to the end step. That's why. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely pulling ahead in terms of resources, but we're way ahead on board. Way-ish ahead. We're definitely way ahead on life. They currently don't have a way to stop the spell queller besides Thos, so it's pretty dubious. Yeah, we need a Coco. That's what we need. Have we drawn one yet? No. So we do still have... What? Oh. Oh, they're casting the Aether Channeler here. So they hostage taker. I guess I forgot that they would be... I would have taken this Soul Herder if I was them. Soul Herder seems pretty good for them. I'm imagining they probably have it in their deck. Are they going to Aether Channeler bounce my Soul Herder? Yep. I don't really know what that accomplishes. Solemn? Sure. I mean, I guess what it accomplishes is I can't bounce their stuff anymore. To find an answer to this hostage taker that's a little bit more permanent. All right. Attack with a spell queller. And then blink the wall. All right, Delny's good. So this turn they can blink the hostage taker and get rid of Soul Herder, but at least... All right, they're putting Yorion in hand. Are they going to cast Yorion? Ooh. They're going to cast Yorion. Ooh, this is tough. Okay. They don't get them till the end of the next end step. So they're going to... What do they get? They draw a card, hostage taker or something. Oh, they can't... Oh, Thassa plus Yorion is kind of cool. Well, I guess it doesn't happen in the right order. Oh, it does. Okay. Scary. I just need to get rid of this hostage taker. That's like the biggest thing. Because then once I do that, they don't really have a way of like dealing with my stuff as much as they can bounce. Like they currently, this is their only thing that actually kills stuff. They can hide the hostage taker here too. Okay, I think I'm in kind of a bad spot. Ooh, Ephemerate. Do they? Yeah, there's a sword. Okay. Let's play Delny. Then, yeah, I guess we're just ephemerating wall. Trying to hit here. Rope line. That's not a hit. Oh, wait. I can get in for some good attacks. No, these are power 3 or greater. The hostage taker can still block. What can I do in terms of attacking, though? Yeah. Let's just start swinging. I don't know. Math is for blockers, etc. Oh, this has flying. Oh. Oh, no, but I can't block. And neither can this. Say, this gets in for 2. Can I squeak out just a... sneaky, just like beatdown win? I don't think so, but maybe. Okay. I got a 4. Do I play the rope line? Just so I can attack? No. I don't think so. With a Delny in play, like, we're not going to be able to beat down with this. Yeah, they get their own Soul Herder. And they also have 7 cards in hand. I think that this seems pretty unlikely we're going to be able to sneak away with this one. Unless we, like, hit perfectly off of a Collected Company. Oh, they drew a Circuit Mender. All right, yeah, we're basically like Coco or bust this next turn. What are these other 6 cards that they can't cast for 4 mana? Why are they keeping mana up for something? Oh, the Soul Herder still has this ability, so they still get the 1/1s. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, all right, Circuit Mender. Circuit Mender is a card I've considered for this deck. All right. Okay. I think, by the way, there's a chance that this deck could be a Yorion deck. I don't think you want to dilute it, but there's so many good cards for this that, like, and you can play a bunch more, like, cantripy stuff. This is really powerful. Oh, I still have an Ephemerate trigger. That's cool. Okay, another rope line. All right. I've seen enough here. Cool. All right, we got one more shot to get the trophy. See you next run. So I forgot actually that at the beginning of this video, my computer crashed when I was trying to play my first game. So I had an additional loss. So I actually can't go technically for the trophy, but I'm going to jump into what do you call it? A ranked queue and try to go for a moral trophy, even if we can't get an actual one. Be back in a sec. Okay, here we go. Going for the moral trophy, 6 and 2, not including computer crashing games. All right, this is a pretty good hand, and on the play is very nice. Being on the play is very nice. Turn 1 Pilgrim, turn 2 Delny, turn 3 Coco. I mean, who knows what will survive, but we got a lot of stuff. Ooh, all right. They might be blue-white control, which I keep talking about, but we may now finally get to see it. All right, so how do I want to play this? Well, I mean, what I really want to be able to do is, like, have them tap out for Wrath, and then I get to Collected Company, right? I could play a Soul Herder, but it doesn't even really do anything. I could just play a Wild Blossoms, draw 2 cards. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right, Fragment Reality. This is another arena only card. You exile a creature. and then they put a random one with lesser mana value into play. So I get a Prosperous Innkeeper, but I lost my my Delny. Okay. I could Soul Herder here. Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, there's a good chance we get Wrath. This is the problem with this deck having access to a really good 3-mana Wrath. But I don't know. We still have a Collected Company to follow it up with, and now we have Ropeline. This lets us draw a card, so yeah, Divine Purge. There you go. All right, I think I'm gonna jam the Coco. Oh, okay. So all these cards are pretty nice. Lagrella is really nice in this matchup. I think I mentioned the deck tech because it lets you hide cards. I could go Wall of Blossom, Soul Herder, so I draw 2 cards here. I could also Ropeline so that when I play my next stuff, I think I'm going to go Soul Herder Wall. Blank the wall, draw another card. All right, draw a Prosperous Innkeeper. Now, if they have a Supreme Verdict again here, ooh, they have a Fragment Reality, means they don't have a Supreme Verdict. All right, turns into an Avacyn Spellgrim, or at least they don't have it right here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have like a really great follow-up in terms of like keeping up Collected Company. I could play this Soul Herder from exile. I could play this Soul Herder and a Ropeline. One, two, three, four. Let's do that and that. They might have a counter spell here. They have a reprieve. Yep. That's what I thought might happen. Okay. Well, they only have 4 cards in hand. And they do have counter magic up, obviously. They always do. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't go Soul Herder into other Soul Herder, unfortunately, but let's try it. We at least can pay for Mana Leak. Ooh, and they scooped. Nice. All right. They didn't have another Wrath. And that's how you beat Blue-White Control. All right. Well, this is great. We got our moral victory. I think the deck played out really well. Showed some of the kind of nutty things that it can do. And it's, like I said, super duper fun. Highly recommend if anybody plays Arena, try it out. And after this, I'm going to talk a little bit more about deck choices. So see you in a second. Okay. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper here into my card choices. And this is definitely a deck I've spent a lot of time on and played around with a lot. So I've tried a lot of different things out. One thing I had meant to do is to up the blue count. I got to figure out which lands I actually own. I like weirdly own very few blue green lands. So I'm going to have to buy some. I'll figure that out in a second. But yeah, this deck obviously has so many options to choose from. So let's start here. I think that I originally had 4 Wall of Blossoms, but I really like the Prosperous Innkeepers because it is a ramp spell towards Collected Company, and because you saw how much we play against like blue-red, and being able to gain a ton of life is really valuable. If it weren't for the treasure token, this would not obviously be playable at all. We don't want like a Soul Warden in this deck, but being able to have that treasure token is really useful. You can bounce it to get more mana with a Soul Herder. You can do some cool things with like Delny so that like at instant speed you can keep up your Cocos and stuff. Anyways, so I've gotten to a 3-3 split with these two. There's 2 other Two drops that I've tried. Besides like the other two drop cantrip guys, Charming Prince is a pretty nice one. It also smooths out your draw with a scry, and it's another blink effect. So this one's kind of interesting. The thing is that it's like another enabler, another blink enabler. So like you need things like Wall of Blossoms that actually do the thing. You can't just assume that you'll always have something else that does the thing to blink, right? Like you need some things that actually draw a card. And scrying 2 is just not the same as drawing a card in this deck. So I'm curious about whether, especially like this last match, we definitely had some games that dragged on and we just never drew anything. So it's where, scrying is good. I could see cutting an Innkeeper for one. It's just really tight. This deck is really, really tight. There's just like only so many options or only so many slots. And so it's tough. Dedicated Dollmaker is another digital only card released in the previous set in the Alchemy that you basically exile something and make a copy of it, either something of yours or something of theirs. They would get the copy, and it's an artifact. So it's another kind of blink spell, but you also tokens gain indestructible until end of turn. So I originally had more of this effect, and I was trying to combo it with this card, Malcator. Yeah, it's gonna not let me show. Ugh, why won't it? Come on. Okay, hold on one second. Wow, it was shockingly hard to figure out how to make this stupid thing pop up. Anyways, so this, whenever you make a 3/3 when it ETBs, and if you've made three artifacts, you get a 3/3 colorless golem. So the cool thing about if you like Collected Company into Dollmaker plus Malcator, it makes an artifact 3/3. Then Dollmaker exiles it. It comes back. Dollmaker turns it into an artifact, so then it counts itself, and then makes another 3/3. And then at the end of the turn, because you now have made 3 artifacts, it makes another 3/3. So you get 3 3/3s in play. So I originally had that as kind of a cool little combo. It's possible I could try out like a version of this deck that's like kind of all in on that plays like 4 Dollmakers and 4 Malcators with some Delnies. I'm kind of curious. Like it is a cool combo. But you have to hit it off the Coco. It has its issues. The other cool thing about Dedicated Dollmaker is that it turns the token it creates is an artifact. So you can use like Knight of Autumn, which is another card that I was originally trying in that shell, and destroy their permanents. Kind of cool. It gives them an ETB trigger, so it's not insane, but it was at least cute. It's kind of fun. And then, yeah, there's just a million other 3-drop options. Elite Spellbinder is kind of interesting. It's when there was more combo floating around, I was a lot more interested in this one. Now, most of the decks are a little bit more fair, so this is a little less necessary. Ranger Captain Vios, another one that was like felt a little bit more important when there was more combo for its second ability. You don't really have any good 1-drops to get. They're just mana dorks, and once you're already casting the Ranger Captain, you don't really need that much more mana. Speaking of which, mana dorks, I've also thought about Esper Sentinel, another cool card. It's really nice with Delny because you get double Esper Sentinel triggers off of Delny. But it doesn't blink, and it doesn't ramp you, so it just felt like worse than the mana dorks. I could see it being better than Delighted Halfling, though. I might try out maybe 1 or 2 instead of the 2 halflings. Baron, this was just a legendary creature that I found because halfling could fix that mana. I was trying to think about going more all in. Tranquil Frillback is another kind of flexible card that goes nicely in the Dedicated Dollmaker shell for one, but also just is a pretty flexible one. But having to pay more mana when you're Collected Company is not great. Thibblethip, I think I mentioned in one of the games, is cool, but not working with Ephemerate's an issue. Boromir, I like this card. It stops some of the combo-y stuff. It stops things like Dreadhorde Arcanist from working. When the Geological Appraiser deck was much more of a thing, this was really important. Also, Mizzix's Mastery, but neither of those are big decks anymore. And so you'd end up being mostly playing this for its second ability, giving your guys indestructible, which is valuable. But as you saw, like the card that they play that the blue-white control deck plays 4 of is Divine Purge, which exiles. So Indestructible doesn't actually do anything against them, which makes effects like this a lot worse. On the other hand, Guardian of Faith, when it ETBs any number of our other target creatures you control phase out, this does help save your guys against Wrath and is pretty backbreaking, but it's also like, again, as you saw, it's the same idea as Spell Queller, where Spell Queller is like a more powerful card in general. But the problem that I found with both of them is that you just very often can't put enough pressure to make them have to Wrath and then still keep up 3 mana, right? Like either early in the game, keeping up 3 mana can be tough and you haven't put enough pressure, or later in the game, if they like Wrath once and then trying to rebuild your board and then keep up mana is hard. Skyclave Apparition is a flexible answer to a lot of stuff. It kills the One Ring, importantly, which this deck actually isn't very good against because it doesn't really have any answer. Aether Channeling a One Ring is not great. I had Skyclave Apparitions in the deck, I think up until even like this last draft, until Amera was printed and till I tried putting in the Spell Quellers. It's a nombo and a combo with Delny. It's a combo in that you get to kill 2 things, and it's a nombo in that they get, if you kill 2 things, then they kill the apparition, they get 4 tokens. So because it also doubles the bad part side of the Skyclave Apparition. Usually this deck doesn't care that much about it, because especially with like Rope Line Attend and stuff, you have like a lot of chump blockers and stuff, and Soul Herder can usually kind of go over the top. But there's definitely games where like you have a Delny in play, you play a Skyclave Apparition to kill their One Ring, and then they Wrath and just get 4 4/4s and just beat the shit out of you with them. So that's definitely some weird tension, but it's still a really powerful card. Kazandu Mammoth, this is a card that people play in Coco sometimes because it's a land that's also hit for Coco. I haven't actually tried it out. Maybe it's worth playing. It feels like kind of dorky, and I don't really like the tap land in this deck. Feels like you really need to use all your mana all the time, so I'm iffy. Deputy of Detention, much worse card than Skyclave Apparition in general, but doesn't have that weird nombo part of it. So this is another option to deal with the One Ring. At least if they kill it, the One Ring doesn't get the trigger because they didn't cast it. We talked about Malcator. Rigo is a card that I've actually tried out a little bit. And it's kind of sweet. Whenever you attack with a creature with power 1 or less, you draw a card, and with all this Rope Line Attendants and the Prosperous Innkeepers, your Aether Channeler bird tokens you can make, like your Delighted Halflings and Avacyn's Pilgrims. It's actually pretty easier to trigger this a lot, and you have Delny to double up this trigger, but it doesn't have an ETB effect, besides having a shield counter, so I haven't really found it to be super worth it. The last big thing, there's infinite more cards, but these are the ones that I've tried. But there's so many different things that you could try out as 3 drops, and I think that you could get rid of the entire Rope Line Attendant thing. You saw how powerful it is. I think it's probably the right way to go, but there's a version of this that doesn't do this and maybe tries to streamline with extra wall, some more Charming Princes, something like that. The other version, I talked about this, that I have thought about a little bit, is making this into a Yorion deck, because Yorion is obviously really good here. And there are so many options that it feels like, you have no problem filling out your deck. The problem is that it does reduce how often you draw Collected Company, Soul Herder, and Delny. And those are so important to this deck, plus like your 1-drops and stuff. They're so critical, especially Collected Company. Like you really just want to draw as many of that card as you possibly can, obviously. That's what the whole deck is built around. I might even try that like white version of Collected Company. I'm blanking what it's called, the like X white spell, because this deck just like wants as many copies of that effect as it can get. But that is the problem with Yorion. It's powerful to have that as a companion, but I have found that like most long games, you can kind of go over the top anyways. But, you know, we definitely lost a couple games where we just couldn't quite turn the corner because we never drew like the right combination of spells where like we could draw a Soul Herder, but then they would kill it, or we could draw, you know, a Delny, but we weren't getting triggers every turn. So, you know, I think that there's definitely some validity to trying out a Yorion version, and maybe I'll make a video with it. But not going to go on for too long. I am going to update this mana base slightly. Probably put in, I don't know. I kind of threw this mana base together, honestly, with like the lands I had, and it just kind of worked. But I've been a little bit falling out of love with it. So I'm going to update it a bit. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Comments if you like this, and yeah, I'll see you again for another video.